Arsene Wenger has chosen his team with Tuesday's trip to Lazio and rest and recuperation for his 15 internationals very much in mind. Hence Kanu's position on the bench, alongside the most recent England captain Martin Keown, and places in the starting 11 for Olympic gold medalist Laurent, for Robert Pires, and for Tony Adams, who's made a rapid recovery from his back injury. Patrick Vieira has now finished a 5-match domestic ban. Aston Villa are without the injured Ginola. Julian Joachim's reward for scoring 3 times in the last 2 games is a first Premiership start of the season. Loan signing Gilles de Bilder is among the substitutes. Referee Rob Harris has control of this game. Arsenal defending an unblemished home record, 6 wins out of 6 this season, and Aston Villa with the impressive record of only 3 defeats in their last 28 league matches. Villa in their changed kit, Arsenal getting us underway, playing from right to left. And after a turbulent week, 6 of those who've worn the 3 Lions are on duty here, back in the surroundings that show them in their best light, some might argue. Stone having to clear the early danger to Aston Villa's defence. And there's the man England would like to court, but who may even end up meeting the FA in court. Arsene Wenger's touchline ban starts at the end of the month. Grimondi. Henry is right, Pires is left, and he's been well fouled. Bergkamp arriving, Henry waiting, Laurent too, and Dennis Bergkamp testing the reflexes of James. The Aston Villa goalkeeper is a big man, 6'5", got down quickly. Hit first time, in towards the bottom corner by Bergkamp. Stone. Throw quickly taken to Merson. Repelled by Adams. The orders have gone out for support from the back. Alpai prime among the defenders, who are now attackers. And he nearly got on the end of that. It was Adams that got it away. Right. Dublin. Hendry and Southgate! Foiled by his England colleague. Still not away. Back in by Merson. Dixon. Alan Wright. And finally, Arsenal can breathe again. Gareth Southgate was without any Arsenal player anywhere near him, bar David Seaman. And he was the one man he couldn't beat. It was a fine save. Plenty of applause for Seaman, who's had a rough week. But here, he was outstanding. Southgate trying to release Joachim. Now Stone. Dublin's arriving in the middle. Taylor wouldn't have kept that in, but referee Rob Harris has spotted the foul on Joachim and has given Aston Villa a free kick in an interesting position. Merson to take, and Southgate kicked away by Grimondi. After the bounce of the ball had deceived Seaman, Southgate stole in round the back. Seaman just got his fingertips to the ball, and that diverted it away. Bergkamp. Parler. Silvino. Might even fancy a crack. No might about it. And David James is making the point to his defenders that someone should have closed Silvino down. Not perhaps the swerve that Silvino might have wanted, although the power was there. Alpai, First touch wasn't the best. And that's let in Pires. And it was only urgent positive action by David James that sorted out Villa's problem. Grimondi. Bergkamp. Grimondi's continued his run. This is Henry. Blocked by Alpay. It's an indirect free kick. When the whistle went, most of the Arsenal supporters thought the referee had given a penalty. But the offence is obstruction by number 16, Alpay. He's going to be cautioned for it. And the sanction is accompanied by this award of an indirect free kick inside the penalty area. Bergkamp prepared to strike, it seems. And it is Bergkamp. And the wall was stout. Henry. The end of a potentially promising passage of play. Isn't it amazing how often a very presentable opportunity brings a fairly uninspired free kick routine. A familiar face of the recent past in the back row there, Gerald Ashby, the former referee from Worcester, making notes because he's today's match observer. Pires. Henry. Alpay very rapidly in. And then penalised. Barry and Adams. Now Hendry has lost it to Parlour. I think Ray Parlour was playing for the free kick. Hendry has shown some dissent. Parlour has got his free kick and Hendry is going to get a yellow card. Take too much for Parlour to go over backwards, but it was the subsequent reaction of Lee Hendry that earned him the booking. Aston Villa now disputing the positioning of the free kick. Because of the descent, it's been moved 10 yards. Bergkamp out by Steve Stone. Here's Lee Dixon. If it had fallen to his other foot, his right, might have been a different story. Parlour. Dixon. Got it. Pires. Coming infield to seek out the ball, and he's picked out Thierry Henry. David James was completely wrong-footed. Alpay lunged in to make the tackle. But Thierry Henry has fired in his 6th of the season to put Arsene Wenger's Arsenal in front, just past the hour mark. Through the legs of Alpay. And it was that more than anything that deceived the Aston Villa goalkeeper. It was a slight deflection, but the fact that it came from between the legs of Alpay meant that James saw it late and could do nothing. The man in the business suit has realised that this was the business end of the game, and he's on his way down to the touchline. Pires. Shaking off Stowe. Oh, and pulled back by Hendry, who's already been cautioned. And the crowd are baying for him to go. Initially, the referee seemed like he was going to do nothing, but Rob Harris is reaching for his pocket, and now Lee Hendry will really regret the fact that he was cautioned for dissent. Yellow card. Well, I think that's his second yellow. There should be a red card here for Lee Hendry. shades here of the episode in a First Division match earlier this season when Mitch Ward was not shown a red card for his second yellow. It's now been pointed out by Gilles Grimondy. Hendry is trying to play the innocent, and eventually the referee, who clearly didn't recognise that it was his second caution, has produced the red. Well, it's another moment that is going to cause controversy. That was the foul on Perez. A cautionable offence, his second, and eventually he is off. And Rob Harris, the man at the centre of the controversy involving Tranmere and Sunderland in the FA Cup last season, finds himself again at the centre of attention. Perez. Henry. Oh, deflected! And David James left floundering. Just wonder whether he might have got a touch himself. Certainly seemed to come off Barry. And also off the goalkeeper, and yet still a goal kick has been given. Dixon. And Bergkamp away from Southgate. James vulnerable. And cleared right off the line by Gareth Southgate. A more forceful touch from Bergkamp and Southgate would have had no chance. Credit to Aston Villa's captain for sticking at his task, because James sold himself early. And I think expected to concede a second goal. Silvino is going to take this. Kanu, a little nudge before the ball arrived. May arrive again with Luzhny. Now Wiltord. Greatest tribute you can pay to Wiltord is that to take off Thierry Henry is a decision that hasn't really been noticed. Wiltord. Alpine floundering. Wiltord to finish the game, and that's a very good stop by James. Now Kanu. And the layoff for Luzhny, who has never scored for Arsenal, and with finishing like that, may never score for Arsenal. It's a very good save first up by David James, spreading himself. He should then have been beaten, or at least tested, by Luzhny. Arsenal maintain their 100% home record. Thierry Henry again with the winning goal, as in the last home match against Manchester United. For Aston Villa, only a fourth Premiership defeat of the year 2000. And for referee Rob Harris, an uncomfortable experience. The sending off eventually of Lee Hendry for a second bookable offence, when clearly he thought that Hendry hadn't been cautioned before. He had, the error of his ways was pointed out, Hendry departed, so did Villa's hopes, and Arsenal have won here at Highbury by a solitary goal to nil.
First half, Villa was sharper, mentally sharper as well, and we had to be a little bit sharper what we did in the second half and put them under more pressure, and then we created more chances and were more dangerous. But in the end, I think we are very happy to get the 3 points today.
You nearly weren't down to 10 men, John.
I know, he makes a habit of doing that.
I think really, I mean, the Arsenal lads, as we would have done in exactly the same situation, have let the referee know that Hendry had already been booked. Otherwise, we could have been heading for another farce. I think that's happened to Mr. Harris once or twice before.
The first yellow card, I didn't understand why, on the right side, because of a free kick.
I think it was for dissent, wasn't it? The new mandatory ruling is that a yellow card has to be shown if the ball is moved the 10 yards.
Yes, I didn't see that, but second yellow card was deserved, and then maybe the referee didn't remember that he'd given him the first one.
I didn't actually see the incident when Lee got booked in the first place, but I mean, the boys are full. I gather he got his first card for throwing the ball away. Maybe showing his disappointment at a free kick given to Arsenal that he didn't feel should have happened. But then you're always walking a tightrope, you know. I mean, you only got to make one more mistake and you're giving your marching orders. But the second foul possibly warranted a yellow card, but really he's got himself in that trouble.
Well, we'll come to that in a moment, Trevor. But 1-0 to the Arsenal, the old scoreline. Did they merit it?
They're probably lucky. I think Arsene Wenger said that. The first half, Aston Villa were a much better side. I thought it was sharper. I mean, Arsenal's home record is terrific, 100%. I think it's 8 months since they've lost at home. Aston Villa, they were impressive for an hour. You just feel in the big games they still can't quite score the goals. They've lost Nilis now with a bad injury. David, friend David's not made it yet, as in Ginola, and he's not made the impression, and they're not scoring the goals. So that, for me, is the next step from being 6th, 7th or 8th in the league to trying to get into that top group, and at the moment they can't quite convert the chances.
Well, Arsenal have got someone to convert the chances, haven't they? And that makes all the difference. Thierry Henry.
Well, Dennis Bergkamp has struggled this year. He's just got 1 goal, hasn't started in every game. Then you've got, really, I think Vilfort's just settling down. Kanu's not been in the best form. So Henry is actually getting the key goals in the big matches. He's such a good finisher. The one against Manchester United, which could have gone either way. Today, first half, he hadn't got into the game that much, but the movement here to actually run along the line, he's got pace. Perez, who I thought was very good, a lot of perceptive passes, and just you think he might clip it into the middle, but once he gets in the penalty area, he drills it. I think here, Alpine could have been a bit tighter. Good first touch. As a quick look, he senses he's got a couple of yards of space. OK, bit fortunate, goes through the legs of the defender, but, I mean, that is, 6 points instead of 2 points from the last 2 home games.
Well, Villa going well until the sending off. I mean, John Gregory didn't seem too amused with Lee Hendry, and I don't think he'll be the most popular boy in the dressing room this week.
Well, he's one of the young players. I think now and again, we have to say, look, players do have a responsibility at their discipline, and it affects their own play. And he's an up-and-coming youngster for the last couple of years, but he's 23, same age as Thierry Henry, and I think he's just got to, now and again, sort of bite his tongue. And 2 stupid yellow cards. I mean, this is, it's headed clear, and he chases this out, tries to bring it under control. Ray Parlour, as he always does, tightens him up. OK, is this obstruction? Should he have got the initial free kick? He doesn't, so then he tries to get a tackle through the back of the legs of Ray Parlour. There's no question it's a foul. I don't think he would have got a yellow card for that, but he's not happy, picks the ball up, gives a bit of abuse to the linesman, tosses it towards him in an aggressive manner, and then even turns away, still is rabbiting away at the line. He's got no choice but to show him the yellow card. That then a goal 4 minutes later, so he's frustrated from that. But in less than 10 minutes, he's going to pick up his second yellow card. Here he is. Perez cuts across him, tugs him back, has to be a yellow card, and he nearly did get away with it, Rob Harris, but in the end, quite right. And I think, young players we've got a lot of youngsters watch their programme, and I think they do have a responsibility to, give them an example, and that's not the example we want to see.
Right, a bit more maturity required. To Thurl with the verbals there. Normal service has been resumed. Manchester United are back on top of the Premiership after ending a run of 4 games without a win. Arsenal's good form continues. They're unbeaten since the opening day of the season. Leicester dropped down to 3rd with Leeds, who have a game in hand on the top 3, moving up to 4th. Newcastle meet Middlesbrough on Monday night. Derby, who've yet to win this season, are in action against Liverpool tomorrow, and it's looking like another relegation battle for Bradford. 4 goals this season tells its own story. West Ham remain in the bottom 3, a point behind Everton, who've won just once in the last 7 games.